Well, good evening, everybody. It's 2 minutes before midnight. It's Friday night. I have been a little bit behind or a little bit lazy with getting these devotional videos out on Facebook. I'm a little bit behind on the YouTube uploads as well. I've had lots of stuff to do. It's been a heck of a day, and I've been tired all day long. I've been getting up early the last few days. It's been an emotional day for me. I believe God's done some healing in me. He's done a healing that things that I guess basically you could say that it's a natural reaction for somebody when they're feeling pain, emotional pain, to bury it and to block it. And I did that a lot when I was young. And in my early adult years, I did a lot of blocking. And I started feeling it last night. We came home from church, and I don't know how to explain it. Have you ever felt like, okay, I need to pray, I'm going to go pray, but you feel emotional and you just know there's going to be lots of tears. It's like that feeling of being sick to your stomach, and you know it's coming, it's going to come, you're going to go throw up. It's the same thing. And so I started praying, and I couldn't even say 2 sentences, and I just had so many tears. And it was over some things of the past that I guess I never mourned correctly. And so that kind of carried into today. And so, yeah, it's been an emotional day for me. I'm not afraid to admit it because, I'm a 44-year-old man. I'm going to be 45 this December. I'm not afraid to admit that I cry sometimes. Sometimes in prayer, I'll cry. God gave us emotions. There's no shame in that. And I'm not ashamed to cry. I've cried in church publicly. If the Lord moves me, I don't care. I just let it out. Sometimes I feel emotions, and sometimes I've even blocked them at times because I was in a public place. But God doesn't really want us to do that. He gives us emotions to feel, and sometimes it's a way of healing. It brings things out. So that's what's been going on with me today. And I found out some other information, and I'm not really going to get into that here tonight. We're just going to do this devotional. But I learned something today. I learned one of the enemy's plans. And it's not that it was like shocking or new. It wasn't the fact that it was going to happen that shocked me. It's the fact that it was going to happen as soon as it was. And I don't believe the Lord wants me to talk too much about it. But let's just say that the enemy is he's not planning to, he's going to crash the American dollar. It's going to happen at some point. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the church, if that happens, when that happens, a lot of people are going to go and run into the arms of the devil. And I guess you could say it's kind of like a trial run for the mark of the beast. Satan tried it with, you know what? And a lot of Christians fell for it. They closed down their churches, and the financial thing will be next. I can't tell you when because I really don't know. But it'll be probably a lot sooner than people realize. And that's what was shocking to me. But anyway, I don't feel led to get into that too much. You can try to warn people all you want, but a lot of people won't listen until it's too late, and some people never will listen. But anyway, it's been a very interesting day to say the least. All right, we're going to continue in this. It's day 202. It's called Peter, the Greatness of Love. And I don't know exactly what's going to be said here, but as I was listening to Win Morley preach the other night, of course it's an old recording because he's been home with the Lord since the 90s, but he talked about how Peter denied Jesus, and yet Jesus specifically names Peter later as one of the people that he wants to meet with. And I believe that Peter, after he denied Jesus, he thought he was done. He kind of thought, well, me and Jesus are done. I've denied him. It's too late. But Jesus wanted to redeem him. And it was a wonderful act of love that Jesus let Peter be a part of. In John 21:17, it says, Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, do you love me? And he said to him, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said to him, feed my sheep. So let's go to John 21 really quick. We'll just read a few verses. I don't want to read too much here tonight. Like I said, I've been tired all day. I haven't had a chance to take a nap because I've been busy doing things. All right, so let's read in John 21, let's do verses 15 through 19. This is what it says. So when they had eaten breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, Feed my lambs. He said to him again a second time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, Feed my sheep. He said to him the third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was grieved because he asked him the third time, Do you love me? He said to him, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. So see, there's that redemption that I just spoke about a minute or so ago. Jesus giving Peter another chance because Peter knew. Peter acknowledged that he had done wrong, and that's why he wept. The whole point is when God confronts you with your sin, don't deny it. Confess it. Because there's redemption upon that confession, right? Jesus said to him, Feed my sheep. Truly, truly, I say to you, when you were young, you dressed yourself and walked where you desired. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands, and another will dress you and carry you where you do not want to go. He said this, signifying by what kind of death he would glorify God. When he had said this, he said to him, Follow me. So that's directly connected to what I was saying earlier. Peter, the greatest of love, the greatness of love. It was to Mary, who loved much, Luke 7:47, that Christ first revealed himself. He also revealed himself in Peter's first vision, John 21, 1 through 14. To the two disciples on the road to Emmaus, Luke 24, 13 to 31. In his appearance to the 10, John 20, 19 through 23. And in the revelation of himself to Thomas in verses 24 through 28 of John 20, I believe it is. It was also to the intense devotion of a prepared heart that Christ manifested himself. And here in his manifestation of himself to Peter, love is again the keynote. We can easily understand why Christ asked the question 3 times, Do you love me? It was to remind Peter of the terrible self-confidence in which he had said, Even if I have to die with you, I will not deny you. That's what Peter told Jesus, remember, Matthew 26:35. Of the need for quiet, deep, heart-searching before he could be sure that his love was real and true, of the need for deep penitence in the consciousness of how little he could trust himself, and then of love being the one needed for the full restoration to his place in the heart of Jesus, the first condition for feeding his sheep and caring for his lambs. God is love, 1 John 4:8. Christ is the Son of his love. Having loved his own, who were in the world, he loved them to the end, John 13, verse 1. And said, As the Father loved me, I also have loved you, John 15:9. He asked them to prove their love to him by keeping his commandments and by loving each other with the love with which he loved them, verses 10 and 12. In that same chapter. In heaven and on earth, in the Father and in the Son, in us, in all our work for him, and in our care for souls, the greatest thing is love. And Paul wrote it in Corinthians chapter 13. He says, you can do all these, you can have all these gifts, manifest all these gifts, do all these works, but if you don't have love, the King James says charity, which means love. If you don't do these things in love, it's all for nothing. That's how important love is. To everyone who desires to have Jesus manifest himself, the prerequisite is love. Peter taught us that such love is not in our power to offer, but such love came to him through the power of Christ's death to sin, the power of his resurrection life, of which Peter became partaker. Peter said in his first epistle, whom having not seen you love. Though now you do not see him, yet believing you rejoice with joy inexpressible and full of glory. 1 Peter 1:8. Thank God, if Peter could be so changed, Christ will certainly work the wondrous change in us too, and will manifest himself to a loving heart in all the fullness of his precious word. And again, Matthew 28:20, Lo, I am with you always. Such love to which Christ will reveal himself is the only preparation for feeding his sheep and tending his lambs. The love of Jesus is a wonderful thing, and we don't even know, we can't even grasp the love that God has for us. And it's because of his love that he died. It's because of his love that he protects us, he provides for us. He's given us his word to instruct us, to bring warning, to correct us, to teach us everything that we need to know to walk this Christian walk. The love of God is something very important, so please don't ever take it for granted. How we wish that the whole entire world could really know and understand and feel the love of God. Pray for the lost, guys. You have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you in the next Andrew Murray Devotional.